Hello everybody, welcome back to Beware the Terrible. Today we have a new deck for you called the Moon X featuring our Aggron VMAX from Brilliant Stars with the Cracking Storm attack doing 150 damage. For only 3 energies, 1 metal and 2 colorless, we get to use double turbo to satisfy this attack cost, but we have to reduce damage done by this Pokemon by 20. So we are doing the effect. The special effect for this attack is that you get to discard the top card from your opponent's deck. We are trying to focus on this attack. The first attack, Cracking Storm, to discard the top card from our opponent's deck. We can also do Max Takedown for this card. We need 5 energies to satisfy this attack cost. So we need 2 metal and 3 colorless energy for Max Takedown to work. 270 damage, not even enough to knock out a VSTAR. If we use double turbo, we are doing 20 less damage. So if we have 3 metal energy and 1 double turbo, we get to do 250 damage with this attack. We have to do 30 recoil damage to our own Aggron as well, so not quite a good attack. That's why we are focusing this deck on our Cracking Storm attack, doing damage consistently, enough damage to get by while disrupting them as much as possible. So the main strategy for this deck is Clefable, Prankish to put any energy card from our opponent's active Pokemon at the top deck. Once you evolve this from your hand, you actually get to prank them and then basically discard that energy from their top deck with your Cracking Storm using this attack's effect. So we're trying to play Clefable with our Cracking Storm and discard even more energy cards with this Crushing Hammer, Fan of Waves combo, and we also have our Boss Order for the extra disruption as well. We have no Galarmine in this deck. We only are playing our Scoop on Net, Clefable, and Crushing Hammer to disrupt their energy cards. So that is the main strategy. We are trying to deny our opponent energy cards as much as possible, as early on as possible, with 1 double turbo and 1 metal energy attached to our Aggron. We are playing 4 copies of double turbo in this deck to fast charge Aggron, and 9 copies of metal energy card to help us attach for the metal energy satisfaction. We do need 1 metal for our Cracking Storm and 2 metal energies for Max Takedown. That means you can't actually attach double turbo twice to satisfy the attack cost for the G-Max attack. So the G-Max attack needs 2 metal and 3 colorless, as opposed to your Merciless Strike. You actually need 1 metal and all 4 colorless. That means you actually get to do a double turbo attachment to do a 5 energy attachment in 3 turns, satisfying the 5 energy attack cost. So we can actually use Memory Capsule for this deck. We're playing 1 copy to allow us that extra optional attack, Merciless Strike for a VMAX, doing 150 plus 150 more damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has damage counters on it, you can actually do 300 damage with your Merciless Strike. You're doing 20 less. Keep in mind that you're doing 20 less for each double turbo you have attached to your Aggron. So if you have 2 double turbo for your Merciless Strike, you're actually doing 40 less damage. 260 only against their VMAX is not enough. 260 against their VSTAR though. If you have already 2 damage counters on that VSTAR, you can actually kill it with 260 damage. So we are not placing damage counters on them. We're relying on Cracking Storm to do damage first. So if we can't kill them with Cracking Storm, if they heal damage with Crystal Cave or something like that on their core event VMAX, we can actually collect the knockout with a Merciless Strike later on. If we can't do enough damage for the knockout with our Max Takedown attack, we can rely on our Merciless Strike with that 1 copy of Memory Capsule. But the main strategy is to use this Cracking Storm to the max potential, trying to discard their energy cards every single turn, as much energy as possible, as early on as we can with our VIP pass, getting out our Clefairies, as many as possible onto our bench, 1 double ball and 4 quick balls to get our Aggron as well. Attach energy on your first turn as early on as you can. Metal energy and double turbo is all you need to attack with Cracking Storm. On your second turn, you can already attack. If you can't do it on your second turn, it's super bad. If they play Crushing Hammer, Fan of Waves, it's super bad, but we can slow down our opponent with this ability as well. So if they remove our energies, we can remove their energies to kind of even out the game and balance things out and help us build our momentum and basically slowly disrupt them even more by discarding with Scoop Up Net and our Cracking Storm. So this combo actually works really well against all decks that rely on a lot of energies, like your single strike combos. Single strike cards needs a lot of single strike energy, so if we keep discarding, they're gonna have to keep using their Urn of Vitality. If they rely on high energy attackers, like you know, anything that requires 3 energies for their VMAX cards as well, you can actually discard it constantly. If they play Fluffy though, if they play Fluffy, they can reattach to their bench quite easily, so it's not going to do much. So this deck has restrictions, but we are trying to make full use of Cracking Storm. And also we have 1 Metal Saucer and 1 Raihan to help us reattach energy to the bench. Metal Saucer only works for the bench, but Raihan can actually work on the active. So we have not a lot of switch cards for this deck, so Metal Saucer is actually quite restrictive in that sense. If we play Metal Saucer, we're going to need to rely on that 1 Escape Rope, 2 Bird Keeper if we want to attack with that bench Aggron after doing the Metal Saucer. So we have only 1 just because we just need 1 metal to satisfy the Cracking Storm attack cost, and 1 Raihan for another energy to help us do a double turbo search. and do a Merciless Strike. If we already have a double turbo on our bench, we can actually do a Raihan and then attach a double turbo from our hand. Then that's enough to do Merciless Strike with our V basic card. If we don't have it evolved yet, if we have it evolved, we actually need to search for another card, that Memory Capsule Tool card. If we have it already in hand, we can actually search for a double turbo instead. We actually need quite a lot of pieces to be able to attack with Merciless Strike using the VMAX, but we don't need that many pieces if we are attacking with the basic. But it's gonna get knocked out quite easily if we attack with this basic card. So make sure you keep in mind, better to evolve than not, and better to not use your max takedown unless you have to, because it actually does 30 damage to itself. We have no Crystal Cave in this deck, no Galarian Berserker to help us do extra damage. So Berserker is actually is gonna work really well with your Aggron because it helps you do a VMAX knockout or even V-Star knockout with your max takedown, and your Merciless Strike, because it's a metal type, it actually does more damage with your Steely Spirit. So we also have our Choice Belt, extra option to help us do even more damage against their V cards, and we are not playing any of those cards in this deck, by the way, but we have our Crushing Hammer to help us stall as many turns as we can until we can strike with this high damage max takedown and Merciless Strike for the last knockout strike. So we are trying to slow down the game as much as possible with this deck, and we have our regular supporter cards to draw. We have one copy of Crobat Lumineon, one Copycat, 3 Marnies, 3 Research, 1 Schoolgirl, 1 Shauna to help us draw cards, 1 Raihan, 1 Boss Order. So that's all for the list. We have 4 Evolution Incense for our VMAX card, 2 Aggron VMAX, only 3 Aggron V, 3 of each Clefairy, Clefable, and 1 of our supporting V card with the ability to draw with Dark Asset and Luminescence. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for gameplay. So let's go ahead for the first one. We're up against Single Strike Urshifu here. Single Strike is actually the perfect match for us because we're relying on discarding their energies. So they actually have really high energy cost, and we're trying to basically put back those energies at the top deck. Discard with Crushing Hammer, discard with our attack. So this is a full-on energy denial deck. So Aggron is helping us against a Single Strike. We don't have the Huntail though, Huntail Single Strike Jammer, but I don't think we need that, because that is like way too specific. If your opponent doesn't play a Single Strike Pokemon, that Huntail is completely useless. So it's only worth playing 1 or 2 copies of your Clamperl, Huntail, Gorebyss. In total, I would play 1 Gorebyss, 1 Huntail, and you know, if I'm playing Zoroark, I would add those cards there, something like that. But I don't think I've ever played those cards before, just because they are so confined. There are so many different decks you get to play, so many different cards, VMAX, V-Star now, non-Single Strike, non-Rapid Strike, that actually get to, you know, that actually get to be unblocked by those abilities. So those abilities does not affect those Pokemons that are not Strike cards. Fusion Strike as well, if they have Fusion Strike, those fishes aren't gonna do anything. So we got our first Clefairy, that's great. We actually got 2 different types, one with the Mini Metronome and the other with the Shining Finger. So twin energy cost, you actually get to use double turbo for that as well. Mini Metronome for allowing you to use any attack on your opponent's active Pokemon. If you flip a heads, you do have to flip a coin. And we have Clefable, Prankish. No, the attack is not that good though. We need Psychic Energy, and we don't have Psychic Energy for this deck, so we can't actually attack with Clefable, and it doesn't do much damage anyways. If we attach double turbo, I think it's actually, oh, it's 1 colorless and 1 psychic. So we don't need double turbo for Clefable. We just use a Mardidons. That's, I don't know if that's good, because we actually got nothing but a Raihan. We actually got another basic though. So we got the first hit. I think we played a Crushing Hammer just now. I'm not sure what we did there. It was quite fast. I think they attached this turn, right? We haven't discarded any energies yet. So we just benched our Clefairy on the last turn. I don't think we did anything other than attacking. 130 damage is not a lot. We don't have Choice Belt for this deck. but we are trying to disrupt them as much as possible while doing bit by bit, you know, damage bit by bit, slowly killing them off. We can actually use Merciless Strike as well. We got one copy of the memory capsule, so it's quite interesting. It's definitely an interesting mix that we are playing here. We got Crushing Hammer, Scoop Up Net, Incense. Let's just do our Incense. If we get a hits, that's great. We get to now cut down their energies down to 0. They got one Houndoom in play. It's going to be super difficult for them to set it all back up. Even if they have multiple Houndooms, they're going to need their Urn because we are discarding that energy after the Prankish. We're using Aggron VMAX to discard it, so we're doing double discard thanks to Crushing Hammer heads. And Cracking Stomp, discarding that single strike energy. So now they need to attach 4 to be able to knock us out with GMAX 1 blow. They need 3 single strike energy, so it's quite difficult to pull it off. But all they need is that scroll though. Single strike is quite broken just because you have that scroll, single strike scroll of Scorn, which actually destroys your Pokemon. VSTAR VMAXs are dead with 1 hit. And you just need that 1 energy. They got their scroll, 290 damage. They didn't get their single strike though, so they need 2 extra single strike energy to knock us out. Thank god it wasn't a knockout. So we actually get to kill them first. Our first 3 prize. We're not gonna do Clefable. We may just do Copycat. I don't know if we want to be using Boss Order. If we use Boss Order now, they may just do a Cheryl later. So it might be smarter to just kill this right now. You never know if they're playing a Cheryl. They do have only 1 energy attached, so it's definitely worth playing a Cheryl if they have it in their hand on the next turn. If they top deck it or something. They actually use a research, so they may already have a Cheryl in their hand. I'm not gonna fan of Wave, obviously. We actually get to kill it right now. And scrap that energy. Remove that energy. And we discarded a Tool Scrapper, which isn't gonna help us because we are not playing any tool cards for this deck. We have Memory Capsule though, but only 1 copy, and I don't think we need to use this. I don't think we're relying on that card too much for this game because we want to be disrupting them. If they are playing, you know, low energy attackers, like 1 energy attack, if their Pokemon have 1 energy attack cost, then we actually need to attack fast, do the damage fast. So Merciless Strike is gonna help us then. But for this game, we actually get to play the disruption quality. We actually get to use that strategy, which is the main theme of this deck, energy disruption. And we got our Raihan. We actually get to do GMAX, the GMAX attack. I forgot what it's called. Takedown, I think. GMAX Takedown. But it's just a Houndoom, so might as well just discard their top deck, right? We're gonna Raihan. We may just do a Quick Ball first. Quick Ball for another Aggron. We don't have this. We only have 2 copies of the VMAX though, so we don't have a 3rd VMAX. We can actually get a Memory Capsule or a Boss Order. If they Marnie us, it's gonna be super bad. But I think getting a Boss Order is smarter because single strike. I don't think they're playing that many Marnies. I think they need the research for the Urn of Vitality. But you never know if they're gonna pull a Marnie at the last minute. This game is a gamble as always. You never really know what's gonna happen. So we're just gonna discard the Scoop Up Net. We got a lot more Clefables, so I don't think we need to play the Scoop Up at all. So we got a free knockout this turn. We just need 2 last prize to collect the win. If they don't evolve one of the 2 Urshifus, we can Boss Order the other and they're done. So let's hope they don't get their 3rd evolution, because they're doing the 2nd for sure. And if they do Marnie together with the 3rd evolution, we can't actually win that easily anymore. We need 2 more strikes, and they're striking us first. They need 2 strikes as well, and they're doing their attack first. They actually just need 3 single strike energy if they're doing 1 blow. We have Clefable though, so if they try to do single strike 1 blow, sorry, if they try to kill us with the GMAX attack, 1 hit KO, we actually get to deny them that attack by reducing their energy cards with Prankish and maybe a few more Crushing Hammers. We actually have our Fan of Waves waiting, and they just use a research, so let's hope, fingers crossed, they don't evolve the last Urshifu. No Marnie, that's great. We got a Fan of Waves, a Clefable in our hand. If they use Houndoom, we get to Fan and Clefable. Reduce down to 0 once more. But if they evolve though, it's gonna be super bad for us. I don't think they get to attack this turn because they don't have enough energies. So even if we don't get the Urshifu knockout on the next turn, we can still slow down the game by killing this Urshifu with 2 hits. And then maybe Boss Order, you know, if they hide in their bench, Boss Order at the last minute, because we can still play the Boss Order later on if they Marnie us. So all we need is 2 strikes. They also need 2 strikes or a 1 blow, but they can't actually manage the 1 blow just because we're putting energy cards back at the deck constantly, discarding it with Cracking Storm, Fan of Waves as well, putting it at the bottom. So they just attach to the second one, expecting the Clefable, Fan of Wave. And they just switched to the second one. I think they forgot we have the takedown attack, so they just gave us that. We don't need to use Boss Order now. We're just gonna use a Fan. We shouldn't have done that though, because we can actually discard the energy with our attack by killing it. And we got our GMAX takedown, knocking out the last 2 prize V card for the win. And we won a single strike Urshifu. That was great. That was quite a good win. A nice game. Fits really well with our strategy. It's like the perfect matchup for us because they need a lot of energies and they're slowly charging up 1 at a time, 2 at a time, or 3 at a time with only 1 Houndoom on their bench. If they have more, they can actually pull off the 1 blow fast enough. You know, if they have 3 Houndooms and enough Urn of Vitalities, they can do it quite easily. But thank God we actually got luckier. So every game that you play, every matchup, it always depends on luck. If you get your VIP pass on the first turn, if you get enough basics to start with, a good setup, a good hand spells a good victory. So here comes Tyranitar. We are facing up against another single strike, so that's another plus for us, where we have the advantage here again, because we are playing our energy denial deck. And we got no Aggron in play, nothing but a Shining Finger, Clefairy. We're just gonna play the Clefable and then research because we can't do anything else. I don't think we're gonna play Lumineon. Might as well just discard it because if we do a Marnie, we're not gonna get anything. We had to do a research. So let's just do Energy Attachment and Clefairy. We got another Clefairy on the bench, that's great. We should be doing Crobat right now just in case they play a Path. You never know if they do a Path therapy, and we just got 5 support cards. Look at that, isn't that ridiculous? We got 5 support cards from the top deck, that's insane. But if we don't do a Crobat right now, they are gonna do a Marnie, and Marnie is gonna destroy us. And we're gonna get no support cards if they do a Marnie without us having played our Crobat. So whenever you get a Crobat, it's always kind of safe practice to use it early. It really depends on the situation though. It's really hard to say sometimes because I think it was a mistake to play it just now. But we actually top deck a Marnie, so that means if they play the Marnie on their last turn, we're gonna get a support card anyways. Not sure why we're getting such a bad hand this game, because we actually got so many support cards. Nothing but support cards in our hand. All support cards. So we had to use Shauna to save, shuffle all of those back, save our supporter cards for later, because we don't need to discard them with the research or any other cards. I don't think we can discard with any other cards except for Quick Ball. So we got our second Aggron, and we just need 1 more energies for the Cracking Stomp. We need to evolve as well, so we're gonna do a Bird Keeper the next turn, and then Cracking Stomp. If we can't do it, we can still do Rock Slide. If we get our double turbo, we can do Merciless Strike for the next turn. If we have a Metal Saucer and a double turbo, we can actually do Merciless Strike with that Bird Keeper. Oh, but we can't actually do the Metal Saucer if it's in the active spot. So we get to evolve, that's great, and they just conceded. We get to use Cracking Stomp and Clefable as well. We can't use Clefable because we had to use the Incense for the VMAX, right? So at least we get to do Cracking Stomp, which is a big plus already. And we had we flipped the hits with the Crushing Hammer just now, so They don't have enough Houndooms, I suppose. We got 2 VIP passes, that's super cool. That's a big start already. We're given a huge head start. They got Marnies in their deck, 3 Marnies. So we better watch out. Marnie is annoying. Marnie is just like legit the most annoying card in format. If you get a shit hand with Marnie, your opponent is very likely to get a good hand. If you get a really good hand with Marnie, your opponent is very likely to get a shit hand. I mean, it's always kind of, it always turns up that way. I'm not sure why, but it's kind of the standard for this game. Okay, we got a VIP pass for 2 Clefairies. We're gonna get 2 Aggron, maybe just 1 Aggron. If we get 2, they may just do a Boss or a Galar Mine. They're playing a Weezing control. I don't think it's too much of a control deck because they are having a Hoopa on the bench doing 90 damage, so I think it's the Sableye V deck. But you never know if they're playing a Galar Mine. I think they have actually that card for a Sableye deck. So let's do a Crobat. Let's just remove that 1 copy of Incense from our hand. I don't think we need that many Incense. It's better to keep 1 though, but I don't think we can afford to. We need to draw as many as we can. So let's just get 1 Aggron and remove that other one. So we get our supporter card out with compress the deck and force the deck to give us supporter cards with our dark asset. We got nothing but Lumineon, which is quite bad because we have no more bench spot for it. We're gonna have to wait for Clefairy to get knocked out, which is not a good thing. Let's hope we get a Bird Keeper because they're doing Ascension right now. We can't do Clefable, but we can still retreat. We got a Research. I don't think we're doing a Research. We can actually do Mini Metronome, but I decided to attach the double turbo to Aggron instead and Research, hoping to get an Escape Rope or Scoop Up Net. We can actually use Scoop Up Net, right? So we scooped it up to retreat and then Cracking Stomp to knock out the Weezing. We can actually kill it with 130 damage. We're doing 20 less damage. Cracking Stomp is very weak, but we actually get to discard the top deck, so it's kind of a compromise. You're compromising the amount of damage you do for that extra disruption. So we're not intending on using GMX Takedown until the last minute because we can actually slow down our opponent by a lot by denying them the energy cards. And they just conceded, oh my god. Because they haven't attacked us yet. They haven't done any attack. They used Ascension, they didn't use Severe Poison. So Aggron is clean, has no damage counters on it. We can actually play Crystal K for this deck, but I decided not to because I wanted to add more Crushing Hammers and that Fan of Wave, that 1 extra copy of Fan to help us do that guaranteed energy removal. It's not discard, but it actually removes it from the field and helps you cut down their energy cost. Cut down their energy cards in play by 1. If they're playing double turbos or twin energies or stuff like that, we can actually remove it. Heat energy especially because it removes that 20 HP as well. So heat energy is a big plus if they get Fan of Waved by our item card. So we're gonna get another Aggron. Let's just save the Quick Ball for Crobat. We may actually do that. We should get another Aggron though, because they're playing Fire type. It gets knocked out pretty easily. Okay. They're doing Flaming Breath, attaching energy. It's a Flareon VMAX deck. They actually have a Charizard as well. So it's quite interesting. Flareon with Charizard. I don't think it's that good a combo though because you're discarding your deck with Flareon and Battle Sense. But they actually managed to Rare Candy Evolve, surprisingly. They don't have their VMAX or Elemental Badge, but they actually get to do their Rare Candy for this game. So if you need so many energy cards in your deck for your Max Detonate, I don't think you get to play that many item and Stage 2 card. Like Stage 2 needs a lot of item. You need Incense, you need Great Ball, you need Rare Candy, you need so many things. Ultra Ball, we have Ultra Ball now for our Stage 2 card. To add additional copies of Incense, essentially. You can also substitute for Quick Ball as well. But you have to discard 2 cards from your hand though, which is sometimes a super bad thing. Okay, we got our first hit. Discarding an energy. With our Clefable Prankish Cracking Stomp. I think we got a Tails with the first Crushing Hammer. I'm not even sure if we played one. I'm not really focusing too much, but I'm trying. So here comes the Charmander. With the experience share at the bench. If we use our second Clefable, if they attach to the bench right now, we can use our second Clefable. So they're probably going to attach the active, right? Definitely going to attach the active because they can attach on their next turn to their Charmander, their Charizard. Oh, they just attached the Charmander, look at that. So if we get our Clefable, we can actually discard this energy from the Flareon, but it doesn't matter though because they can actually do another energy attachment to the Charmander, and they just got another energy. I forgot, they can actually do Flaming Breath. So we're just gonna do Shauna. We don't need Clefable anymore. We're gonna save Clefable for the next turn. Crobat for Scoop Up Net or Clefairy. We got a Metal Saucer, that's great. Let's just do the Saucer right now. So always prepare for your Merciless Strike. If you have an Aggron on your bench, you can actually do that attack before evolving. If you haven't evolved yet, think about using that attack. If you evolve yet, you're gonna need to search for that 1 copy of Memory Capsule. It may turn out in your prize card as well. If it's stuck in a prize, you can't use your Merciless Strike with the VMAX. So watch out whether to evolve your bench, but your active has to be a VMAX because we want to be denying them their energies turn after turn. We're only discarding up to 2 energies though, with 2 Clefable or 1 Hammer and Clefable. 1 Hammerheads and a Clefable, or maybe 1 Fan and a Hammer. So here comes Battle Sense. Are they gonna get enough Leon? They're actually doing double the damage, so they just need 1 Leon discard to kill this VMAX. Very likely to do it by now. Do they have a Leon? That is the turning point. Are they gonna turn the tables on us? Are they gonna bench anything? Ultra Ball. I bet it's a Crobat they have in your hand. If they Ultra Ball and Crobat, I'm gonna be quite pissed. I think that was a Leon. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure that was a Leon. Arceus, okay. They got Arceus in his deck. Trinity Charge, Trinity Nova. And we got a fan for that Arceus. Oh, it wasn't a Leon, my bad. It was something else. So it wasn't a Leon that they discarded with the Ultra Ball. So we got a Scoop Up Net, we got our double Clefable thanks to the net, and we get to actually remove all energies from the field. Are we gonna do that? I don't think we get to do a Charizard knockout this turn because we need 1 metal and 1 colorless, and we can't do a double attachment this turn unless we do a Metal Saucer Bird Keeper, but we did our Metal Saucer already. We got one last Metal Saucer. We actually have two copies of that card for this deck, for this list, because it's the early version. The final version actually has only 1 Metal Saucer, 1 Raihan, and 1 Memory Capsule to replace that extra copy of Metal Saucer, because Saucer doesn't actually do much. If you are trying to attack with Cracking Storm, you just need 1 Saucer. It's better to focus on the disruption and, you know, possibly attack with your Merciless Strike. If you have a Memory Capsule instead of Metal Saucer, you can actually do Merciless Strike with another double turbo on your active, rather than doing Metal Saucer on your bench and trying to hit with GMAX Takedown, which actually does less damage if your opponent already has damage counters on it. If you already attack on your last turn, did damage on their Pokemon, their active on your last turn, might as well do a Merciless Strike for 260 damage if you have 2 double turbos. 260 is actually more than 250 because you're actually doing 20 less damage with 1 double turbo for your GMAX Takedown. So 300 minus 40 damage is 260. 10 damage more than the takedown. So here comes a, ball sorter, stall, and we actually got a double turbo. We can use it for the retreat cost. So Clefable gets to retreat thanks to double turbo, and we're just gonna do that. Stalling, instead of using Marnie, we actually get to kill it and, basically own the game for one turn. And they just conceded. So forcing them to draw the top deck. If they get lucky though, they may just research for something. But we actually got 3 prize already, and they got 0 prize. But they actually got quite a lot of damage on the first Aggron. So they may still do something. They got no energies on Arceus though. Quite interesting though. They're playing like a VSTAR, VMAX, and a 1 prize Charizard. I don't see any Mega Basin in their deck. They could be playing that card later. You never know. Could just be stuck in their deck. So let's play our VIP pass right now. The lucky VIP, we get to do it. Not every game you get to pull it off, but for this one we get to. Okay, we got the VMAX for the next turn. We got a Copycat. Very interesting card to be playing Copycat. I don't think it's that good, but it's better than some other cards. I don't like Caitlyn. Caitlyn doesn't do much unless you're playing Chinchino. Caitlyn is not gonna help you. Because if you have a very small hand, Caitlyn doesn't draw you much. But if you need to arrange your deck though, Caitlyn is a very interesting card indeed. It's very strategy based, because it allows you to arrange your deck in a certain fashion. It allows you to put certain cards at the bottom and draw out, the non-energy or non-trainer cards or whatever that you need. If you have an Eldegoss Caitlyn, I think I built that deck, Eldegoss with Caitlyn. You can actually draw out your energy, Caitlyn, to put all those energy at the bottom and essentially draw fresh new cards, Pokemon or trainer cards. You're forcing the deck to give you non-energy cards, basically. If you use a Celebi, for example, you can draw your Pokemon card. Celebi, Sundren Shell, you can actually draw out your Pokemon from the deck, and then Caitlyn on the next turn, because Celebi, you actually need to pass the turn with Celebi, so they may just do a Marnie on you. But if they don't play a Marnie, you can actually hope to play a Caitlyn on your next turn, putting those Pokemon cards at the bottom if you don't need them, and then force the deck to churn out trainer and energy cards for you, because they have no choice. The deck has no choice but to give you your non-Pokemon cards. Cards that are not Pokemon. Trainer or energy cards. They're all Pokemon cards, right? Okay, we're up against Umbreon VMAX, and Urshifu actually droned on about the trainer cards the supporter cards for so long. Didn't realize that. So forgot to narrate the situation. So we have right now 2 Clefairies and one Clefable already evolved. 1 VMAX and 1 V. They got an Umbreon ready to go, ready to evolve this turn. I think they actually benched it on the last turn. They captured a Houndour. Okay, I don't think they get to do laser focus. Oh, we actually did a triple energy discard. We did a triple energy discard for this game. I remember. Yeah, we did a Clefable Crankish. We did a double Crushing Hammer Heads. We actually got really lucky there. 2 Crushing Hammer Heads after they did a laser focus for their first turn. So we discarded 3 energies on our last turn, which was quite big actually. Crankish, Cracking Stomp for the first discard, and 2 more discards with double Hammer Heads. Here comes the VMAX. Are they gonna just drag out the V card, force us to wait 1 turn? If they have a fan though, I'm gonna be quite pissed. We may just attach the double turbo right now. It's smarter to just attach a metal, but I really want to attach the double turbo. Let's just play the Schoolgirl. I like Schoolgirl just because if you get it early, you get to draw 4 cards. If you get it late though, we are playing a VMAX and a 1 prize Clefable. So if they kill 1 VMAX, if they intend on killing 2 VMAX for the win, we can't use, you know, we can't use Schoolgirl to draw more than 2 cards. We got a Raihan, a Metal Saucer. So we did the double turbo. They actually have a powerful energy, quite interesting. They may be playing Tornadus. I'm not sure why they're playing the powerful energy. They should be getting Stone Energy, right? Stone Energy is makes much more sense. Powerful makes no sense. Okay, we're just gonna do our Bird Keeper and force them to target the one without damage you know, the undamaged, the high HP Aggron. I don't think there's anything else we can do. Let's just do Cracking Stomp. Let's bench another one and Cracking Stomp for 130 damage. We need another strike to kill it, but that's fine. We're gonna do Merciless Strike for a Umbreon VMAX knockout. I don't think we get to kill it though, because we're only doing 260. So we're not doing that much damage with Merciless Strike. It's an illusion because we have to cut down 40, reduce by 40 damage with 2 double turbos. So it's an illusion. We're only doing 260. And if they have 2 damage counters on it, it's only 280 damage. We need 310 to knock out the Umbreon VMAX. So Umbreon is quite high, the HP. It's more than the low ones. The lower ones are 300. Butterfree is 300. Jolteon is actually 300. Leafeon VMAX is 310. I forgot what else are 300. Yeah, they should have roared to the active. Because if they roar to the active, they can use one blow. They use a beatdown right now. If they use one blow with 3 single strike energy, they could have knocked us out. So that was a big mistake on their part. It was a huge mistake on their part because they could have knocked us out on the last turn with a Gmax one blow because they're gonna die anyways. Might as well just do a one blow, right? And if that was a stone energy, though, I don't think they can do it because they need 3 single strike energies. If that was a stone energy, they can only do 310 damage with one blow. So they had to roar to the active and attach the stone. I think they attached on the last turn. They attached the powerful on the last turn. So if it was a stone, and if they attached on the last turn, they should have attached the Umbreon. But it was too much. It's too much foresight, right? Sometimes in a game you just panic or you don't have the foresight. The situation, you know, the things that happen in a game sometimes happen in such a way that you miss a few things. You forgot to take certain metrics into account, and there's always too many factors to take, you know, to consider. There are always a lot of factors to consider, like a lot of different possibilities to predict and overview, and you need to, you know, really judge the scenario in a lot of different ways. And sometimes you can't actually afford to do a full analysis with the limited amount of time that you're given. It is not a tournament. That means you actually get more time to decide, but you still have a limitation. You're still given a, you know, timer, even though it is a free versus ladder battle. So this is not a tournament, guys. This is just a versus ladder battle, but it's still worth something, I think, because this is good practice, right? Good practice for the tournament. If you guys are tournament buffs, go for the ladder for practice first. Thank you. You have a good deck as well. They actually make a really big mistake though. Like, they could have knocked us out on the last turn. That would have been a huge knockout, right? But Umbreon is not doing enough though. It's not doing a lot of damage. We can pull out this the last VMAX. So they're gonna need a boss, or they got the VMAX though. I think they used the ability already. So they already evolved, right? My bad. So they need a boss order, and they need another escape rope or boss order to kill the Clefairy. So that means they just need a V and a 1 price knockout for the win after the VMAX. If they kill our VMAX first, I think they stand a good chance at winning. But if we kill the VMAX though, I don't know. I have no idea. Too many things to take into account. We got a Raihan and Metal Saucer though on the last turn. That means we could have done the Urshifu knockout with the VMAX and forced them to waste their boss order for the V card, the damaged V card on the bench instead of using Merciless Strike and, you know, leaving that vulnerable for them to take the knockout. We should be keeping it at the bench to make sure it's difficult for them to get the last 3 prize. Because if we give them the free Aggron V, they can just boss order for a Clefairy to win the game, to get the scoop. Will Pawns, and we won by killing the second VMAX. Bye-bye, Umbreon. We did a Merciless Strike and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, guys. Sad to say, because we don't have a Choice Belt. We're only doing 260 damage. We have no Galarian Berserker. So Berserker Merciless Strike is definitely an interesting combo. I may do a deck from that, but I don't see it being that strong though, because if you do Merciless Strike, you're gonna need Zigzagoon, and if they play Fusion Strike Energy, you need your Fan of Waves. Fusion Strike Energy is impervious to Galarian Zigzagoon, and you need your helmet. What's it called again? Rocky Helmet or Ō-Symmetry. Ō-Symmetry doesn't work against Mew VMAX, so there's no other way but Rocky Helmet to place damage counters on them. And Arctozolt doesn't work as well because it's an ability. So all Pokemon ability cannot affect Agatha. The only way you can kill it, you can damage it before using your Merciless Strike is with Rocky Helmet and Agatha. So it doesn't really work. That attack doesn't really work against a Fusion Strike. Same goes for your Obstagoon, but Obstagoon is a Dark type though. It actually gets that extra buff. It's a 1-price Dark type as well. So that means if you do your damage counter fast enough, you can actually do Silence first. Silence them from using a Cross Fusion Strike. They can do a Retreat Escape Rope or a Retreat Switch, but you're actually forcing them to get their Switch cards. Genesect is going to help them though, but a lot of things to take into account. I'm going off the course here. Like, I'm flying off the ball. Eyes on the ball. Okay. They're playing a Yveltal deck. Yveltal always spells control. Because evil, I forgot. Cry of Destruction, right? That's the attack. Cry of Destruction allows you to discard 3 special energies from your opponent's Pokemon. And for only 2 colorless energy costs, that means you can use Double Turbo Twin Energy for a triple energy discard. But we're not playing special, we are playing Double Turbo Special Energy, my bad. So they can discard our Double Turbo with the Yveltal. We have to watch out for that. We have to rely on Metal Saucer, that 1 copy, and Raihan to fast charge. But it's better to attach Metal Energy 1 at a time. If they play Crushing Hammer, it's going to be super bad. So it appears they're playing a Cryogonal deck, a Cryogonal Volcarona deck, no Kyogre, fortunately, because that card is mad annoying. Got no Manaphy for this deck, so I don't think we can survive a Kyogre. And here comes a Bird Keeper for a Double Turbo. If we get a Double Turbo, we can deal with this. We didn't get the Turbo. We could have killed the Yveltal, but they can just retreat and pull off another one. Bench another one and Double Turbo for a Cry of Destruction. So never underestimate a basic Pokemon. If they are basic, they can actually pull it off, do the attack in a single turn with a Air Balloon. So it's quite mad. Like Zacian, basic Zacian V, basic Blissey, basic Suicune, Entei. We got Entei and Raikou now. Same attack, same ability, different names, but exactly the same. Same effect and damage, but different types. That means you get to hit extra damage with the weakness. So if you play all three different cards with your Cafe Master, that would be quite cool, right? Suicune, Raikou, Entei, Cafe Master, Alcremie. That would be so cool though. I think I may just do that deck. I may just play Alcremie with that combo. It's not bad though, is it? Cafe Master Alcremie. That means you actually get to Air Balloon, attach 1 from your hand, and you're good to go to do your Rondo attack. Blizzard Rondo. I think it's Burning Rondo and Lightning Rondo. I forgot what it's called really. But I don't have enough V cards though. I don't I haven't unlocked those cards yet. I haven't traded for my Raikou and Entei. I actually have only 2 copies of Entei. Not enough Raikou. We should be playing that deck though, definitely. People are gonna steal that idea or come up with it themselves. Sometimes ideas clash and you get a great idea and someone else got it at the same time and they didn't steal your idea. They didn't hear it from you, but the epiphany just strike both people at the same time. It's like a coincidence. It's a perfect coincidence. Which is very annoying in my opinion because I want to be churning out my deck and I want to try to be as original as I can, but sometimes it's impossible just because you know, it's so restricted in the standard format. You only get to play certain cards, certain expansions. You can't actually go wild and crazy. If you go too crazy, you can't actually win a single game with a super insane combo, playing all, you know, a very wild combo, creative but unmanageable, creative but weak. You know, you need to be very consistent and powerful. If you're not powerful enough, you cannot win a single game. However interesting or fun your deck is, you just can't face up against a meta deck. So we get to do G-Max Takedown. It's actually Max Takedown, my bad. So Max Takedown, collecting a knockout against a V card, which is quite cool. They actually leave the V card too late. They gave us our energy attachment so many turns. So they left it too late to do their Gyarados, and they actually gave us the knockout. Element Chain again. Here comes Volcarona. We gotta prepare the next Aggron though, because Volcarona is gonna kill us the next turn. We got a Crushing Hammer Heads, but they just recharged the fire energy. And they got more where that's coming. There's more where that came from. Element Chain. Okay. We're gonna do Copycat. We're gonna save the double turbo for the next Aggron. We need the other Aggron badly. If we don't get the Aggron, I don't think we can win that easily. Because Volcarona can kill us with one hit. 160 damage. We have 3 damage counters already. We got a quick ball, that's great. Our Aggron, second one. And double turbo on it. It's perfect, grand. We're gonna do Evolution the next turn, and Cracking Stomp is not enough though. Cracking Stomp is not enough to kill it, but we got Clefable to buy us a little bit of time. We can do Rock Slide, because it's actually weak towards, we're doing 20 less damage, so keep that in mind. 20 less damage to the bench as well. So Rock Slide does only 10 damage to the bench, but it's, you know, it's worth something at least. We can actually discard their top deck instead, but 70 is enough to knock it out just because it's a Ice type. It's an Ice type, that means they are weak towards our Aggron VMAX. So we got a Raihan, that's great. We actually get to get a double turbo. We get to do Merciless Strike if they do a VMAX knockout with their Volcarona. We get to use Raihan for another double turbo, Merciless Strike to kill off the Volcarona, and they just use a Glaceon instead. So we got the Glaceon knockout quite easily. We can do a discard. We should have done the discard. I think we chose to use Merciless Strike. We were quite greedy. We did 500 plus damage just because of the damage reduction. Not 600, only 560. But we actually get to do a lot because of the 10 damage, that 1 damage counter on their Glaceon. So we decided to use Research because we already have that extra 1 energy attached to this turn. We just need 1 more double turbo if they don't fan up waves. They got Cry of Destruction though. So we actually forgot to take that into account. We should have kept the definitely have kept the Raihan, and definitely have used Cracking Stomp this turn to discard that top deck. But we got greedy and went for the high damage. Because it's quite rare that you get to do that much damage against in the standard format against any Pokemon. 500, look at that. It's enough to kill anything. Anything. Even with like a billion energies on your Stunfisk. Stunfisk is the only card that allows you to have unlimited HP, by the way. As much HP as you can fit energy cards in your deck, obviously. They can play Single Strike Abomasnow, they can play Big Charm, Cape of Toughness on their basics, Orico Rio Fusion Strike, Sir Chester Bath. We have the new Kling Clang now, by the way, Kling Clang to reduce damage done to your Pokemon. A lot of different Pokemons to basically reduce damage and increase HP. And they just killed our Aggron. We get to do Merciless Strike this turn. Oh, we get to do GMAX Takedown, my bad. So we are trying to do a Metal Saucer so that we get to do as high damage as possible. That's why we did our Escape Rope, because we can actually do GMAX Takedown for 250 instead of 230 damage. 250 is enough to kill it with a Cape of Toughness. If they got a Cape, they can't survive this. They can't survive this turn even. So we won against a Cryogonal box deck. Cryogonal Water Box with Volcarona and Yveltal for that extra energy discard. So just because it's a basic, they play that card for the extra disruption. So it's a basic box with your element chain for immense energy attachment. Okay, we got our Aggron, no VIP pass, but we got a level ball for our bench, for our first benched Clefairy. No supporter cards, which is super bad, but we just need an Aggron and an energy to start with. One Clefairy is ideal, but you know, if you don't get it, it's fine. You can just set it up later. Okay, yes to rest. Got another energy, no supporter card still, no Click Ball for Lumineon. So I'm quite scared now. They're playing a Weezing deck once more. Weezing Hoopa, so it may be an Eternatus VMAX. Boost Shake, turn 1 ability lock going first. Look at that, Boost Shake for the first turn, turn 1 ability lock. And we got our Clefairy. Let's do our Metal Energy Attachment. If we do Double Turbo, they're probably gonna do they're probably gonna Fan of Waves and, you know, slow us down by a billion. We're just gonna do Fan of Waves on them. Hope they don't get their energy card. And at least slow them down, force them to attach back to the Weezing instead of the Hoopa, because Hoopa actually needs 3 energies to do its attack. And they use a Marnie, which is quite bad because we got no supporter cards though, so it's not that horrible. But we could have evolved and do the double turbo at the same time. So we could have knocked out the Weezing if we kept our hand and draw a prize card. So I would rather keep the hand, to be honest. They got Umbreon, Karen's Umbreon, the new secret rare character rare card from Brilliant Stars. They got a dead hand now. That's really good news. Dead hand. They got nothing but Pokemon's in play. Nothing in their hand. That's super good news. And we're gonna just do our Schoolgirl. Are we gonna play? We're gonna evolve first, Crobat, and then Schoolgirl. We may just do a Shauna because Shauna actually gets us 3 new cards and 2 possible new cards. So 5 instead of draw 4. Shuffle. We have to shuffle them back though. I'm just gonna do a Shauna this turn. Okay, we got the double turbo. It actually increases the chances of you getting the turbo if you get a Shauna, I think. I'm not too sure though. We should save the Clefable for later. You may just get back the same cards though, the Raihan and the... But it's quite unlikely to get back 2 of the same cards, 2 out of 40 cards in the deck. 44 cards, because we have actually 4 cards in our hand. Drawing the 2 back is quite unlikely, so it's quite kind of better to use your Shauna than your Schoolgirl, because you're drawing 5, essentially 5 cards. And we didn't even get our Raihan back. That means we actually draw 5 fresh cards. And they conceded, because they got... Their Weezing got knocked out, they got a dead hand. And they just conceded. We got Clefable ready to go though. Prepared to discard their energy card if they attach any from their hand. But it only allows you to attach, to prank their active. You can only prank the active Pokemon with your ability. You can't use Clefable to put the energy card at the top deck from their bench Pokemon, so it only works for their active Pokemon. And we only have one copy of Boss Order, so we're gonna have to rely on our opponent attacking with a high energy, high energy attacker, and then slowly use Crushing Hammer, Clefable at the last minute once they attack with that card. If they haven't attacked with that card yet, we're gonna have to wait for them to show it, to show it off, to pass the turn with that card on the active spot. If it's not in the active spot, we cannot use Clefable. Okay, they're playing an Eeveelution box with all the V cards, the VMAXs, Glaceon, Leafeon, Espeon. I don't think they have Umbreon, but they have Glaceon, Leafeon, and Espeon. Probably the VSTAR, maybe the Espeon VMAX. So we have the Sun and Moon badge, really useful for your Espeon and Umbreon to stay at the bench instead of getting Boss Order knocked out. Boss Order is a very, very annoying card across the board. The worst card ever in format. The worst card to be faced up against. The best card to be using to give yourself an advantage, an unfair advantage. Lysander. A really, really annoying card. Overpowered, isn't it? That one Boss Order is gonna do so much for you. Before that card was out though, can you imagine? Before they made Lysander, before they made it possible for you to drag to control your opponent, to force your opponent to switch one of their bench, to choose one of their bench Pokemon and switch it with their active. Before that was possible, we actually had to target their active, whatever they put on their active spot. So that was like really, really, very, very much more different. The gameplay is so much more difficult. It's not difficult, it's just more different actually. Because you actually get to play a lot of different other cards. We have a lot of different abilities for the expanded format. So there's a lot of... Well, expanded, you actually have your Lysander for expanded as well, so it doesn't count. But for the old expanded, without the Lysander, we have a lot of different abilities and attacks. The attacks have less constraint on them. Whereas the attacks now have a lot more constraint. If you observe it, if you scrutinize, you can actually see that the attacks have a lot of constraint. A huge amount of constraint. Like, for example, the Beatrice, she actually... The supporter card actually allows you to only attach to your bench fighting type Pokemon. And, it's only the top 5 cards of your deck that you get to discard. Rose only attach 2 energies from your discard pile to your VMAX. What else? A lot of cards are very restricted because, it only works for specific types. Some cards only work for specific types. Whereas the old version, the old Team Plasma Pokemon and, Plasma sets, all the Plasma sets, a lot of those cards are, it works for all Pokemons. Like, reduce damage done to this Pokemon by 30, even if it's not in the active spot. So now we have like the active spot restriction. You have to be in the active spot. You have to do this, you have to do that. There's a lot of restrictions now. We don't have Chaotic Spell. We have no way of discarding the Stadium except with Flannery, and Flannery is a supporter card which is not good. So Stadium card is really, really bad because we have no way of preventing our opponent from playing that Stadium card. We can actually use Sydney, but it's a supporter card, it's not that good. We can use Pumpkaboo to remove it on our turn, but we can't force our opponent not to play that Stadium card. We can't actually disrupt their Stadium card play. So let's focus on the game. I'm going off the course too much as usual. We got Marnie, we got Double Turbo. We're gonna do a boss order if we can. We don't have a boss though, but we should be doing boss to kill one of the V cards. We should be attaching to the bench right now. One metal. And here comes Cracking Stomp for a fairy knockout. We're actually doing 260. 300 damage, look at that. Because we have no double turbo. So Cracking Stomp is 150 damage. So there we go, Eeveelution Deck Box. Eeveelution Box Deck, my bad. I just said Deck Box. They actually have an Arceus Deck Box. Crystal Veil. They got the Solar Revelation and the VSTAR. I think they're playing the VMAX for the Leafeon. I'm not sure what they're playing really. So no Espeon VMAX yet. They got the V card. Not sure if they're playing the VMAX. Here comes the Glaceon. Frost Charge. It's actually the promo card. Boss Order Cyrus. We got the team. What's it? What team is it again? Oh my goodness, it's Diamond and Pearl. Team. I think it's Plasma is black and white. What's Diamond and Pearl again? Oh my goodness, I should be knowing this. I didn't buy the Brilliant Diamond, by the way. I don't play Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, that's why I don't know. I forgot what it's called. I love Diamond and Pearl, it's like the best generation. I believe the best generation is Gen 4, but Gen 5 actually has perfect music. The music is like up a notch for Gen 5. It's like the best yet. Sword and Shield, the music is okay. I think some of the pieces are really, really good, like the best, but across the board, Black and White has the best music, the most creative music ever. I love the Gym Leader battle music for Black and White. I think it's the most rad of all the generations. So Cyrus is team. I don't know. What team is it? Mars Galaxy, right? Team Galaxy. Okay. Okay, I finally got it. Colress Mars. Okay. And what do we have for Alola again? Team Skull. Team Skull, Team Yell, Team Plasma, Team Galaxy, Team Magma Aqua, Team Rocket. I don't think that there's any other teams. Tag team. I wonder what they're gonna come up with next. What are they gonna come up with next? We have the new Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Scarlet and Violet. Like that's so another Espeon, by the way, we're up against. They're actually playing Whimsicott for this deck. Quite interesting. Whimsicott with Espeon V. The new V-Star. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they're only showing the 3-starter Pokemon without the evolution. So people are still speculating the stage 2s and stage 1s. Quite interested with the TCG form, but it's not going to be released for a while until they come up with a new game, obviously. So the TCG is going to be in Sword and Shield for a while. It's going to stay in Sword and Shield for quite a long time before we get to progress to the next generation. So let's just do a research, discard the Aggron. I don't think we need a third copy. We only have 2 VMAX in this deck, and I think 60 damage is fine. I don't think it's too bad. Let's just evolve the active. Because if we don't, we're just gonna have to attack with Rock Slide, which is not a good attack to be using. And it only does 10 damage, 70 damage if you have a double turbo, 10 damage to 2 bench Pokemon. So double turbo is quite disruptive because you have to reduce damage done to their bench as well. You're doing less damage to all of your Pokemon, to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Doing less damage to all of their Pokemon. We got another Clefable, slowing them down another 1 turn. We actually get to discard it this time. We get to discard that energy. with Cracking Stomp, so they actually get to draw something else, which may be a bad thing. Because they actually got nothing on the last turn. They played a Bug Catcher though. Okay, scoop up the Clefable. And then recycle it the next turn. We got a Metal Saucer, but we can't play it yet. We're gonna be forced to discard the Saucer and the Raihan if we don't get a Marnie soon. Or some other support cards like a Shauna, Copycat. What else are we playing? Schoolgirl. If we don't get Schoolgirl, we're gonna have to be forced to. And they just drew 5 cards with Acerola. They drew 5 cards. Look at that. Madness, yo. That's madness. Acerola's Intuition. And there we go. They have a Duskull, the new Brilliant Stars Duskull. Dusknoir has the ability that allows you to transfer special energies attached to your Pokemon in any way you like. You get to transfer your Rapid Strike, Single Strike energy. You get to transfer your Double Turbo. Very, very cool new ability. It's a stage 2 though, so it's quite difficult to get it out into play. Any stage 2 card, even if it's just one copy, it's still forced to be given a late entrance because you're gonna have to fit a lot of different cards, Rare Candy, Incense, Ultra Ball, to make that one stage 2 card work, to be able to use the ability fast enough. Because if you can't get the stage 2 out in time, that actually, you know, it's super bad if you want to be relying on that ability to do a lot. I don't think that ability is gonna do much though, unless you're playing like your Fusion Strike, Single Strike, Rapid Strike Pokemons. If you're not playing those cards, I don't think it does much. Double Turbo, Horror Energy, you actually get to transfer those, but Heat Energy as well, I suppose. Your Coding Energy and stuff like that. Might as well just do Bronzong for coding. Stone Energy, I suppose. All the special, powerful. We got Aromatic. We got Hiding Energy. What else do we got? Flash Energy is not gonna do anything. Speed Energy, my bad. Flash Energy is actually the old Lightning Special Energy. So we actually got our boss order this turn, which is great. We get to target a Whimsicott, hit the weakness, and kill it this turn before they even attach energy or even get the VSTAR evolution, which is grand. We actually got a Whimsicott knockout. Look at that. Fluff gets in the way. It's not going to help them because we're playing an evolution card. We're attacking with our VMAX. We're not doing Merciless Strike. So Fluff gets in the way. The first attack of Whimsicott, only 1 attack cost, 1 energy attack, allows you to prevent your opponent's active Pokemon from attacking on their next turn. So the defending Pokemon cannot attack on the next turn if they are a basic Pokemon. Kind of the same as your tie-up Graplock V. So we actually got the final knockout here, killing the Duskull. They got no bench, we won the game. That was a quick win against Whimsicott and Espeon. They actually got quite a bad hand, Bug Catcher. But they got quite a big draw with Acerola though. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.